Hello again, this is News Today. My name is Kimini Nyamani Amano. Now, the New Patriotic Party will on Saturday hold its National Delegates Congress to elect national executives, and over 5,000 delegates are expected to participate in the polls. 44 candidates will be vying for the chairman, general secretary, national organizer, national youth organizer, first vice chairman, women's organizer positions. We'll also be speaking with other political parties ahead of the NPP National Delegates Conference set for April 12. But I'm sure you also recall that last night there was a shootout in Abuabo in Tamale, and we were speaking to DCOP John Kudalo, who Director of Operations at the Ghana Police Service, has joined us over the telephone with a quick update on the situation. Hello, COP.
I'm fine. Hi, my sister.
Absolutely. What's the latest on the security situation as far as the arrests are concerned?
In Tamale, I'm here with them. We're all here. We are fine, happy. But for yesterday's incident, everything was going on smoothly. Today, because of that, we went back to the drawing board. We called our men back to the square and give them definite instructions on how to now do the policing after this incident.
So what is this new strategy?
Hello?
What is this new strategy?
Oh, some of them are covert, some of them are overt, some of them we can mention them. Most of them are that are going to increase the number of checkpoints in town. We are going to inconvenience a lot of people, but that's for their own security and safety. Right from the entry to and exit points of Tamale, we are going to ensure that we do some checks as we have been doing, but this time the checks will be more, it will be just random checks, but they may be more organized, and then when I say organized, that is more cars will be searched, random, we use intelligence at your own discretion. But because of this, we are going to inconvenience the public in many aspects.
Absolutely.
That will be the overt side, and the covert ones, I may not be able to put our strategy on the radio.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when it comes to the big day itself, what are we going to see from the police service?
Oh, the big day itself, according to our plan and strategy, we had before, during, and after. And the during, we did it in collaboration with the organizing committee of the event. They put in a lot of inputs, which we also considered in our strategic plan. And I assure you and all the good people of this country and the citizens of Tamale that it's going to go on smoothly without any problem. We are going to have cut-off points beyond which vehicles cannot go. We are going to have some issue diversions. People have to enter the stadium only with accreditation. A limited number of vehicles will be allowed into the stadium proper. And as usual, we have our men mixed in with some of the crowd. The balloting area or voting area will be cordoned off according to the dictates of the organizers. Also have a lot of policemen guarding the vehicles that have been parked, and also screening men. So both mechanically operated hand screening devices as well as electronically operated walk-through screens. And I want to do all this in collaboration with the organizers, and I'm sure that it will go on smoothly.
See, let's talk about the event, last night's event. What does the police think about what happened?
I cannot put it on the floor because, in fact, what we think about this is unfortunate, it's unwarranted, it's sad, it means that something is going wrong or something's not being done right. And that's what we have strategized. But we are appealing to, as we always do, that policing is the responsibility. We shall do our part, but we cannot get effective results without the collaboration of the public. Because all these people who are doing this are living among the public. Couldn't say they're not coming from Mars, we know them. And from the information we had when we went, I'm still seeing myself. I was there yesterday at 12 at dawn to go and exactly what happened for myself. We were talking that, my way in the morning, and then when you call them, call them aside to come and give information. So you see that nobody is coming. If there is the cooperation was for the collaboration was for the public. And one of these, we are facing no more like a plot. They also say they are all stable conditions. So some are serious conditions, but we are saying that nothing happened.
COP, it has also raised the question of how prepared the police was prior to the shootout.
It was not a shootout, it was a shooting incident because these were peaceful people who were having their fun and enjoyment, and a car passes by and fires at them without any provocation. And then, like, it's very uncouth, uncivilized, and should not be encouraged, be hailed in any aspect at all. We had patrol teams in town, and you know, the criminal has the advantage of time and space. He knows when he wants to strike, and he knows where he's going. The robber knows that we're going to attack this house and know the time, but the police don't have that information. It will be general networking Christian patrols until we have intelligence-led one. So they were coming, the police and the patrols that were camp-like patrols in town, including the ones we added because of this conference. And immediately the patrol passed. And just a few minutes after, the Stasi also pulled up and then fired a shot. So we are now strategizing, patrolling more based on grass on the ground. And as I said, we are going to do what we call hard policing.
Right. COP, have you made any arrests?
No arrests have been made at all. No arrests have been made at all. According to the people who were there, they could not even tell us the cause of the charge when I asked them yesterday. They wanted to tell us it was very quick, sudden, and very fast. But as we always say, and as we always do, they will continue to do these things. They continue to run, but they cannot hide forever. We shall always get at them.
Right. Thank you very much, COP. We'll leave it here. COP John Kudalo is Director of Operation Ghana Police Service. We'll also be speaking with other political parties ahead of the NPP National Delegates Congress set for April 12. We'll start off with the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Osiedu Ketia, who's joined us over the telephone already from Tyne in the Bunahafo region. Thank you very much, Johnson, for joining us here.
Thank you.
Your thoughts generally about the events leading up to the Delegates Congress?
Come again, I didn't hear the question.
I'm asking for your thoughts ahead of the NPP National Delegates Congress.
Well, before leaving Accra yesterday, I issued a press statement wishing the NPP well, and in the Congress, and wishing them a successful Congress. I did indicate that as they are going into this Congress, they are carrying the burden of the whole nation because the searchlight of the whole world on Ghana about our democratic credentials. So they should keep it in mind that whatever they do would either create a better democratic impression about Ghana or otherwise. So I address their minds to that fact. And I also wish, on behalf of the NDC, wish the accident victim, Mr. Kwabran Japon, well and speedy recovery. We advise him not to listen to those conspiracy theories about the cause of the accident and so on. We believe that no accident can occur, or for that matter, no mishap can occur without the approval of the Almighty God. So it is God that allowed the accident to happen, and so we should thank the same God for sparing his life, and we wish him speedy recovery so he can join the Congress tomorrow in Tamale. And we sent a word of advice to our party members and supporters in and around the northern region that they shouldn't see this MPP Congress as an occasion for animosity and so on. Rather, residents of Tamale should look at the Congress as an opportunity to showcase whatever they have in Tamale, look at the opportunities presented by the Congress by way of doing business, selling smokes and food and all that. And they should always bear in mind that a Congress like this offers them more of an economic opportunity which they should take advantage of. And so they should deploy their energies towards taking advantage of the opportunities that are available through this Congress. And in keeping with the Ghanaian tradition, we all know that Tamale is the home of NDC. So they should see NPP members coming as visitors or tourists or whatever. And in keeping with Ghanaian tradition, we offer excellent hospitality facilities to people who visit even from outside the country. So they should look at the MPP as their brothers, offer them the best of hospitality so that they may consider the possibility of using Tamale again for subsequent congresses, and that will send a signal for other political parties that Tamale is indeed a good place to hold Congress so that they can always be having this opportunity. And finally, we want that since it is our belief that a successful Congress of a major opposition party improves the credentials of the democracy of this country, and therefore the credentials of Tamale as a venue, they should look at that one. And that, should it occur to anybody, whether NDC member or non-NDC member, any political fanatic, to think that a disrupted NPP Congress serves the interests of NDC or the nation in any form, they should change their minds, because the party will not stand by anybody who acts in breach of the law and the peace of Tamale during this Congress.
For some aggrieved persons we spoke with after last night's shooting, they have blamed some NDC members for shooting at the NPP delegates who were gathered at the spot last night. What are your thoughts on this?
From where I sit and speaking to you, I just heard about this thing this morning, and the information I'm gathering is that even the security services cannot confirm any suspicion yet. And so it will not be good to be discussing these things in the media. Otherwise, we risk creating the wrong impression. And so let's leave it as it is and allow the security services to undertake their duties with the firm belief that NDC will not shield anybody who is found to have engaged in anything. That is why it is significant that this our statement was issued even before yesterday. So I think that let's leave it at that. I don't want to be peddling rumors, and I'm advising all those who are interested in these conspiracy theories without basis to watch out, because there were certain, in fact, Kwabena Japan's accident was attributed to Nanado, attributed to Sir John and all those things. And it's because Sir John and the others had earlier attributed an accident about Baumi and others without basis to President Mahama and so on. I think that our democracy has grown beyond this pettiness, and that we should be speaking in a way that will promote the national interest and improve our democratic credentials, rather than seeking to take political advantage of anything.
One of the things the NPP will be looking out for after the Congress is a one party, a united party. Do you see that after April 12th?
I hope that they will pull out, they will pull through this with a united party. But my sister, let me tell you what. Anybody who has observed the history, the political history of this country, that the only breakup, party breakup that has been successful, or only defection story that has been successful, was the defection of Osagifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah from the UGCC. And that defection clearly was based on ideology, firm ideological grounds. Beyond that one, you know, disagreements within parties leading to defections and formation of new parties, not a single one has succeeded. And so let's advise ourselves that anger can never be a sustainable fuel for any political adventure. The anger will fizzle out very soon, and you will live to regret your actions. So whatever happens, if we are indeed Democrats and we want to promote democracy in Ghana, we should find ways of accepting defeat. And we believe that the defeat is from the masses. And that is the only way we can sustain this democracy, because multi-party democracy involves winners and losers. The winners part is not difficult to play, but it is the losing part that is difficult to play, and that is what is critical difference between a failed democracy and a mature democracy. So I am advising MPP members, those who think that defections and others are, tools with which they can pursue their future political ambitions, it will not help them.
What lessons?
Let them stay together and sort their differences and move the party forward.
Absolutely. What lessons has the NDC drawn from this already, if it has seen any?
Oh, I do not think that MPP has performed badly yet. The organization of an event of these gargantuan proportions will certainly involve a few hiccups here and there. So far, they've done well, but the critical moments are still ahead. That is what happens today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And I'm advising and urging them that we are with them in prayers, let them pull through, and that will serve as a lesson to everybody. I have carefully dodged the question about NDC because today is MPP Day. Today is an occasion to commiserate with them, and let us devote the day to pray for them and to, do whatever we think that they can get through this difficult moment. We will have time to discuss things about NDC, hopefully in the not too distant future.
Very well. Thank you very much, Johnson. Johnson Esiedun Ketia is General Secretary for the National Democratic Congress. Let's move on and get perspectives on the security situation in Tamale ahead of the NPP National Delegates Conference. Edward Brenya is with the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security, and he's also joined us over the telephone. Thank you very much, Edward, for joining us here. Hello, Dr. Brenya.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks for joining us here on News Today.
You're welcome.
The GEX has come out to appeal to all delegates and aspirants of the NPP as well as sympathizers to make security their core ahead of the April 12, their core priority as they participate in the Delegates Congress to sustain the peace that the country is currently enjoying. Elaborate on this.
I'm sorry?
I was asking that you elaborate, you explain further your call on the NPP.
Yes, yes. We from the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security issued this communique in light of rumors that we've been hearing about happenings in Tamale. We take cognizance of the fact that the region already had an issue that can be reinvigorated by utterances and certain actions that may be misinterpreted. And therefore, we felt that it is essential that we draw attention of all parties to the fact that what the NPP is doing right now is very essential for strengthening democracy that Ghana is currently enjoying.
Okay.
And therefore, we are calling on all parties to be very, very, let's say, circumspect with regard to their action to prevent anything that can affect the security that the region is enjoying right now.
Dr. Brenya, beyond that, what must we do in order to ensure that we maintain that peace and order as far as security is concerned? What can the police service do? What steps should they put in place to ensure that we maintain that peace before and after April 12th?
I think the security agencies has to be on high alert. They should be looking out for all actions that can impact the security in that region. There should be more of preventive, proactive, making sure that people do not use ordinary occasions to sort of score certain goals. For instance, on the crisis that happened, we were informed that there were a certain group of people who were actually congregating and jubilating, and all of a sudden it degenerated into something. This is what we want the security agency to be aware of. Suddenly, the area is exposed to certain things that people can take advantage of it. We want them to be on high alert.
Dr. Brenya, I think we would have to call you back. Your line is patchy, and so we'll call you back quickly and then speak more on this. We'll get Dr. Edward Brenya of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security back over the telephone and analyze the security situation in Tamale ahead of the April 12 National Delegates Conference for the NPP. You recall that 9 persons have had to be hospitalized after a shooting incident last night in Abuabo, a suburb in Tamale, and it's raised concerns about security as far as the Delegates Conference is concerned. We've spoken to COP John Kodola, who said the police has gone back to the drawing board to re-strategize. They're entering into more covert and overt operations and programs in order to ensure that security is tight, security is maintained in the region before, during, and after the National Delegates Congress, the NPP, is to hold on April 12. Dr. Edward Brenya he is with the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security, and he's also a lecturer of history and political science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He's joined us over the telephone again. Dr. Brenya, thanks for your patience. You were telling us about what the police has to do, but how easy is it to change plan? We have very little time.
Yes, I think at this point, we need both the individuals and the police to be on high alert. We know that the youth and other people might want to take advantage of such an occasion to sort of revenge other things that they had in the past. So we are asking that for all other gathering that is going on, for all other activity that is going on, that plainclothes security and those that are not in plainclothes attire should be going around, making sure that security is of importance. We are asking the regional security council to sort of marshal all their possible best officers to that area so that they can look out for all suspicious acts and actions and make sure that they are addressed before it derails into something bad.
How easy is this going to be? April 12 is just some 12 hours away from now. How easy is it going to be for the police to re-strategize, revamp whatever program they had to ensure peace and order in the neighborhood?
I do believe strongly in the efficiency of the Ghana Police Service, and listening to the regional commander there, he said they are already on ground. All what we are asking is that they should not wait to the last minute. They should be sending people out. They should be looking out for suspicious actions. They should be proactive more than they have been, so that even though we have that short time span, they could actually act. And we are also asking all delegates and citizens of the Tamale metropolis to aid in this aspect. Security is not only the job of the police, the citizens also have a role to play.
1,200 personnel deployed to Tamale ahead of the Congress. Is that enough?
It is and it is not. I believe by now, as the regional commander said, by now they are looking at other strategies. Probably they are asking for reinforcement. I think the important thing is efficiency. With 1,200, if they are really on the ground looking out for key signals, 1,200 should be enough.
I see. We'll leave you here for now. Thank you very much, Dr. Brenya. Dr. Edward Brenya is Lecturer of History and Political Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He's also a Senior Research Fellow at the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. And, well, we'll stay on the MPP a bit longer. And this time we're speaking to another political party, the Progressive People's Party, I believe. Thank you very much for staying on News Today. Let's talk business now. Deputy Finance Minister Kasil Atuforson has debunked reports that government plans to suspend the issuance of the billion-dollar Euro bond this month. He says government is monitoring the market conditions before it participates, but has not necessarily put a hold on the Euro bond issuance.
Contrary to reports that government has put on hold its plans to raise another $1 billion from foreign investors this month, Deputy Finance Minister says plans for the Eurobond issuance remains.
We are saying we will go into the market. We have parliamentary approval already as part of the 2014 budget. So we had approval even before the year started. In fact, we've started procurement for the lead agent and then the lead arrangers. We're almost about to finish, but that does not necessarily mean that we're going in tomorrow. But what we are saying is that we are going to look at the market. We are going to look at the way the market will react, and we'll get in as and when we're ready. If the market is ready for us, we'll get in. So if the market condition is not good today, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to go in today. We'll monitor the situation in the market and get in. But doesn't necessarily mean you have postponed it.
He, however, maintains government will have to study the market before making the move. Kasil Atuforson insisted that government had no dates in mind for the Eurobond issuance as reported.
But we've never given any specific date that we're going in X day or X month. What we've always said from day one is that we normally start the processes around this time and then wait when the process is ready, or when the market is ready for us, then we strike. What we intend to do is to start the process with non-deal roadshow. So after the spring meetings, the minister will come and lead a delegation to non-deal roadshow. We'll sensitize the market, see how ready the market is for us, to see how the market will be improving in terms of the spread. I mean, benchmarking it with the last two bonds that we have, and then obviously when market improves, maybe after the non-deal roadshow, if market improves the next day, we'll get in the next day because we'll be ready. But if market improves later part of the year, then we'll get in later part of the year.
Government, meanwhile, has the opportunity to raise up to $1.5 billion from foreign investors and has already issued 2 Euro bonds.
Right now, the revised GDP estimates for 2013 shows the Ghanaian economy grew by 7.1% compared to the final estimate for 2012 of 8.8%. The Ghana Statistical Service attributes the fall to the declining agricultural sector coupled with a rather high level of imports. The services sector recorded the highest growth of 8.9% in 2013, followed by industry, which grew by 7.0%. The agricultural sector recorded the lowest growth rate of 5.2%, although the estimates show an improvement in the growth of the sector compared to the 2.3% experienced in 2012. Dr. Sesibe is lecturer, Department of Economics at the University of Ghana, and he's joined us over the telephone. We'll get some perspective on this. Thank you very much, Doc, for joining us here on News Today.
Thank you for having me.
Doc, your reaction to this fall in GDP from 8.8 to 7.1?
Yes, it's quite worrying, looking at the fact that the GDP actually speaks volumes of the country's macroeconomic performance. And so if the country is not achieving its economic growth rate, then it means that the country somehow is losing the war against poverty because there's a higher correlation between poverty and economic growth. But that notwithstanding, a 7.1% GDP growth is quite significant compared to other countries across the globe. And so for me, the issue is whether we'll be able to sustain that kind of economic growth going forward into the year 2014.
We'll talk about sustainability in a while, but let's look at some of the indicators. The GSS has attributed the fall in growth to a declining agri sector. On the other hand, when you look at the agri sector, it's seen quite a jump as from 2012. It means that something has gone on right there. In the future, what should we see for agri?
Let me just say that I can hardly hear you, but I will try to answer some of the bits that I heard. If we talking about the slow growth in agriculture, of course, there's some improvement compared to the previous year, 1.2 growth rate. It's also a concern because you know the agriculture employs the majority of Ghanaians, particularly those in the rural areas. And if you look at the poverty profile of this country, agricultural sector contributes the highest to our poverty. And therefore, if we want to reduce poverty, one of the areas that we should be targeting is the expansion and modernization as well as mechanization of agri so that it can increase farmers' income. And so 1.2%, although it's positive growth, it is not significant enough to try to bring about a total transformation of that sector. That said, I'm not too much worried about the fact that agriculture has lost its highest GDP growth status to the economy, because for every maturing economy like ours, which is growing at a faster rate, you don't expect agriculture to be leading the way. In many developed countries like Japan and America and other places, agricultural contribution to GDP is somehow less than 5%, all right? Yet they have food sufficiency. They are able to produce enough for their people and even export some. And so having the service sector leading the way is something that we should expect. But the problem is the expansion within the agricultural sector itself. That is what we have to worry about.
Projected into 2014, when you have a background of the kind of subventions government is putting in place for the agri sector, what do you see?
Well, I don't really foresee any dramatic changes to the trend because of the downside risk even to the macroeconomic environment as a whole. Because, you know, agriculture depends so much on inputs such as fertilizers, petroleum, and others. And if you have looked at the current macroeconomic environment, this is not really going well. The input prices are increasing. That is the fuel prices. Government has removed certain subsidies within the agricultural sector. And then transportation and others, the disruption in the oil and the electricity and all that can have a negative impact on the agricultural sector. But if we are able to have a very good rain, okay, and then government also focus on bringing in the tractors and others, that could offset any negative ripple effect that may come from the macroeconomic environment. But I don't expect any dramatic increase in the agricultural sector.
I see. But with a growing services sector, how can the country take advantage of this?
Can you repeat that, please?
On the other hand, we have our services sector growing quite well. How can we take advantage of it as a country?
How can we take advantage
of the growing services sector?
The growing services sector. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, there's a lot that we can take, particularly if this growth is linked with the rest of the economy. That is, if there's both backward and forward linkage with the domestic production, then it will also ensure that the domestic people or the citizens actually benefit from the growth process. And so that is why some people are talking about the local content bill, and others. I think one of the things that we can do as a nation is to ensure that when these services come in, like the telecoms, the financial institutions, and others, they should endeavor to employ as many Ghanaians as possible and also pay them well, so that in the end it will trickle down to the people in the rural area. It also means that we need to train the critical skills that is needed within the financial and then the oil and the technological sector, the ICT sector, so that our people can take advantage. We don't need to go out there to bring experts to come and manage our financial or our ICT institutions. We have to take over these institutions. It has to be owned, if not wholly, at least partially, by Ghanaians, so that we can take advantage of the growing service sector.
Very well. With inflation hitting a 4-year high record, how do we sustain our GDP?
Yes, GDP now is quite difficult for us to sustain the 7.1% that we recorded last year because of the downside risk to the economy now. If you have heard, the IMF is actually predicting a 4.8% growth rate for Ghana's economy this year, mainly because the macroeconomic fundamental now is weak. If you look at the high fiscal deficit and then also the trade deficit, that is the current account deficit, about 13%, which all are putting enormous pressure on our currency, depreciating it at a very fast rate. And so when it happens like that, it reduces, or the investors, particularly foreign investors, tend to have doubts about the performance of the economy. And investor sentiment is key in driving every economy. If the investors do not feel good about the performance of the economy, they'll begin to withdraw their investment, and capital flight will surge, which can dampen the growth process of the economy. And therefore, with the current, if nothing is done about it, I doubt whether we'll be able to sustain the growth rate that we recorded last year. I doubt very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Dr. Sibe is a lecturer at the Department of Economics of the University of Ghana. Let's move on to something else now. And the reports from the Ministerial Monitoring Team in 2013 revealed numerous negative and unethical practices on the part of some road engineers and contractors. This was disclosed by the Minister of Roads and Highways, Atani Delali Emmanuel, at the Department of Urban Roads 2014 Annual Strategic Conference.
Some of the common complaints include extortion of money from contractors before they are introduced to the sites, before lab tests are performed, before site levels are given, and before certificates are prepared. The actions of these staff continue to soil the image of the road construction industry, and particularly the engineering profession.
He cautioned that such practices compromise the effectiveness of the supervising engineers, leading to poor quality of roads.
The Ministry has noted with concern the necessary delays between project advertisement and commencement of works. The Ministry has directed that it should not take more than 2 weeks to complete evaluation of bids and shall not countenance any infractions on this directive.
Alhaji Amidu Suleimani also touched on delayed road projects.
Let's go back to the Guinea-Bissau election, where ECOWAS Chairman John Dramani Mahama visited the country ahead of a Sunday election. Sonny Ugo is Communications Director for ECOWAS. He's joined us over the telephone. Hello, Sonny.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Sonny. Tell us what you observed visiting Guinea-Bissau that is prompting this.
Come again?
Tell us what you observed as far as preparations towards the Sunday election is concerned.
Yeah, I have not been to Guinea-Bissau to observe preparations for the elections. I have a colleague who is on the ground, and we have an office on the ground, the office of the special rep of the president of the commission. And between those two platforms, the sense I get is of satisfaction with the arrangements for the Sunday's election. As you have said yourself in your introduction, the chairman going there shows the highest level of interest in the region in that election, because we believe that that's an opportunity for people of Guinea-Bissau to build on their democracy, to build their institutions, to stabilize the country, and to end the cycle of instability that the country has experienced in the last part. So from the reports that we have got, there is sufficient reason to be very optimistic that the preparations are okay. Don't forget, in order to make sure that we get to where we are now, to make sure that the election holds, member states have coughed out $20 million to support that exercise. Because we believe in stability in Guinea-Bissau. We believe that that country needs to stand very firmly on its feet. And even at great inconvenience, financial inconvenience, member states pledged and contributed $20 million to make sure it happens. So the alternative will have been that there will be reason for someone to say, look, we want to hold elections, but we cannot finance it.
So, Sonny, we'll leave our conversation here for now. Thank you very much. Okay. Sonny Ugo is Communications Director for ECOWAS. Let's get into some arts and entertainment now. Not too long ago, Yvonne Okoro was awarded the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards in Nigeria for her first ever produced movie contract. But not all movie fans agree that she deserved the award.
Well, he's a responsible looking guy. He takes care of business.
Yvonne Okoro's first ever produced movie contract appears to have won the hearts of many movie enthusiasts, as they describe it as one of the best Ghanaian movies. As part of the movie's success, it has gone international and has picked up several awards, especially at the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards recently held in Nigeria. But a passionate movie fan, who is also a movie vendor showbiz, came across at the Opera Square, a popular place for movie distribution in Ghana, believes Yvonne does not deserve either of those awards. According to him, Contract is a stolen concept from Hollywood movie title Baby Mama.
Baby Mama, a personal coffee. I've seen that movie countless number of times. So when I saw the trailer of Contract by Yvonne Okoro, so I was even telling people, look, she made a copyright. And the most annoying thing, she went to this kind of African Movie Award, and she got like 8 awards by copying a Hollywood movie. It's like we are like a joke, you know? Like all the African, we are like just a joke. How can you get an award by copying somebody's stories and trying to change a thing or two? You know, I know a thing or two about movies. I'm a typical opera guy.
He gives us his views of the Ghanaian movie industry as a movie vendor.
I prefer them to boost like the Ghanaian made in Ghana goods, as the president was saying. Like for instance, in a movie, you see this kind of Gollywood, Kumawood actors. They are all in like foreign attire. You see a T-shirt, Dolce & Gabbana.
Cheche hopes our Ghanaian movie makers will eventually become original and project the country's cultural image through their movies.
One angry movie vendor. But we'll move on to our headlines now. 9 persons sustained gunshot wounds late Thursday night at Abuabo, a suburb of Tamale, during activities to herald the new Patriotic Party's National Delegates Conference. Head of research at Gold Coast Fund Management says the move to integrate West African capital markets has just commenced and it presents an opportunity for Ghanaian investors. ECO is cautiously optimistic that Guinea-Bissau's election scheduled for Sunday will be transparent, free and fair. Find more news on myjoyonline.com. Thank you very much for staying through the hour. It's Friday. I'm going to have me some fun. You should do sing. Goodbye.